All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Dynasty, the podcast show. I'm your host, Ira Bush. I just want to say, man, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting whatever we speaking on. All the my one follower who probably is consistent on listening to the truth about the world and the truth about what we're talking about. Today's show is called, I forgot what I called the show today. Um, what was the word I used? I try to use keywords, but basically we just breaking you the most important news. It might be the most, you know, like I would say, like the most today. It wasn't dropped today, but we're continuing on breaking down this testimony of the Secretary of Education's testimony that was done last week, and it's very important that we break it down. It will help for the all 50 states. It's more important than what they putting out right now with the situation in California, which is pretty big, but it's not more important than this because everybody has to make sure the children are properly getting educated, the funds are being properly spent, people are not stealing. What we ended on yesterday was, the lady from the representative from Arizona was talking about how the private sector has infiltrated the government funds to to um to basically fund their field trips and little excursions instead of providing high end successful programs for the people who are in the urban areas, the people who are less fortunate financially, and instead of them providing new books and actually spending the money on them to go to nice field trips that they can't afford and giving them vouchers, they only putting it in the private schools in the private sector. So that's the issue. People are lackadaisical about checking people like that. And when you get if you study history of the government, they probably just doing that for somebody that's in the government, and they just felt like it will make them win the race if they pat somebody, help somebody, get into a position or help them out, not spending money, basically. Like, y'all basically, it looked like, in the government, they have like your friend end up winning the race because you provided money for him to win the race in that city or that state, and the senator or governor or the mayor, whatever position is sponsoring that voucher to get them people to go to amusement parks or field trips or whatever, summer camps, whatever it may be that they're putting money into besides helping the kids who need the most help. It's also a big issue in Arizona with the borders. You know how that go. They didn't want to spend money on, people who call themselves immigrants. I'm not dissing neither side because I was born in America. I don't know the full extent. I don't know the full extent of what's going on and why they at war, why they don't want to spend with people who go to public schools. But that's probably what the main issue is. We talk about, I don't want to say it every time I get on there because I actually have relatives that is mixed. So I have to actually let y'all know most families are already intertwined and mixed. So I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just calling it how I see it. Now, not saying my family is still not on the side of the winning side, you know what I'm saying? Or the side that's not delusional about what year it is and what needs to happen and change wise. That's definitely what it is. And I'm not trying to and it's more high level than you think. So I'm not gonna, shout out to my family. I'm not trying to put them involved in I know this is like the 30th something show. So the more you say it, the more they think that you really are out here like holding up a sign. Now I'll pull it up on some areas and been a part of some little, just paying attention wise. And I promise you, I don't go on the internet looking for stuff. I'll walk into something all the time, just paying attention and being in my own self, and I live what I say, so it ain't like I'm faking what I'm talking about. So that's how it goes. We're going to continue that. We're going, this is the fourth part. We're probably going to have another part. This is very important that we dissect it properly. We get the most information out of it. I'm not trying to go at our Secretary of Education, but it might seem that way. But we have to put people. We actually have to make people do their jobs. Like I told you, this is the third time. You know, I went to reviewing what I was saying about me going to the school board. I'm gonna reiterate it because I did not get what I didn't get. You know, they think I'm not gonna come back up there. You know what I'm trying to say? They think that was just like a taste. Like I was just letting them know I'm gonna keep kicking your door all the way over. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming over here to play. I might join 5 committees in Broward just to be funny. And I'm not playing with y'all because when I get on them committees, it ain't gonna be no joke. I'm gonna keep it all the way with you. Like it really be being light and polite about coming up there. Just because I sound authoritized and very forceful doesn't mean I'm being that. So me talking don't mean I'm doing the whole full blown action of being all of y'all business, checking all y'all books, and make sure y'all doing everything properly. I haven't done all that yet because I have to actually be mindful of me having myself together completely. I have myself more complete enough to go up there and check y'all because I am a parent. So that's definitely not a problem. But it mean like me getting there on time, me being in the meetings every week, not missing no meetings, me actually having my schedule as a coach and being able to go to these committee meetings properly is important. So, you know, next year, maybe not next year, maybe in about the middle of the year after football season, I'll definitely be on them committees just because they playing around still in Broward because they're crooks, frauds from the sheriff department, the school department, the police station, the jailhouse. Broward full of frauds. They kill just to get what they want. And it ain't the people, it's the people that's the authority. So I don't have time to bicker and back forth with you. This is what it is. Palm Beach ain't no greater. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not a perfect person, but I know how they attack. I know how they slander. You know, they're on the they're on the echelon of, you know, being here in society and not being at the griminess like that Broward is. And I'm just this from my view. You know what I'm saying? People over there is a dog eat dog world. It's a whole bunch of black people chopping each other off in the inside, and that look weird to me. So, you know, if they work together and keep everything properly done, even if you have people in the inside, do it properly. Don't, you know, everybody in the same position. The security guard not that far away from the people in the jail. Like that made no sense. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to the school board. I'm in the building. What you think I'm here for? You think like I got people, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nothing. You ain't doing nothing great. Like you on the committee. I can sign up for this committee anytime I want to. So what's the issue? Like I could be right here on the other side of the table, sitting here talking very properly to you, and it ain't no issue. Cause I done signed up for the school board already when I was 18 years old. So what y'all got going on? It ain't no, and like I said before, it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit more mature about how I'm handling everything, but you know, it's gonna get situated eventually. They want to prolong the situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't work for people in the private sector in Palm Beach and in Broward, and they both do the same thing. They both think, you know, it's a tap dancing black person who want to hate, who do all this manipulation as a black face for the white people, and then it's a whole bunch of white people like, yeah, that's our person right here that's going to hate on all the blacks. You know what I'm saying? That's selling them all out. That's how the energy is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it actually still happening, but you know they messed up their children's path of success because they wanted to do shortcuts. They feel like entitlement. They want to steal. You know what I'm saying? And all that. All that negative, evil stuff that's going to deteriorate our what we came from as slaves. And you know, and it ain't just us being slaves, mind you. It's like people but that was free. I'm talking about been free. And if they was slaves, they've been free. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally and physically. So you know, they way of putting people in shackles is they want to do this old mental AI, artificial intelligence, simulation, all this stuff when you sleep. Then they want to, you know, put people who are strong, you know, they want to throw hate and negativity on their name. And then they want to do this and that. They want to put $100 in front of us and say, go 100 people, go race to that $100. Then they must be like 100K. They go race to that 100K and be all weird about the money. And you know what I'm saying? Nobody got time for that. Make sure y'all being proper about these situations and not selling your team out for a couple of dollars and a couple seconds of fame, or whatever y'all may call it. Because you know, the way I'm looking at it, I know it's like talking be I grew up with like picking and cracking, like that's about the most that my family and team gonna be doing. We picking and cracking, might do it at the highest level, but it ain't nothing after that. Once we come to a real understanding at the table, we laughing about it at the end. So that's really what it is. This is mostly family. This is like real close friends that I grew up. This is like real life, like real talk. So I ain't even never gonna fold on that. They could cancel that. I ain't even tapped in all the way. When I say I tapped in, it's when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? If I tap in fully, which I'm getting to that level, y'all irritate me even more. And I'm still in Florida, so y'all really like whoever going against me gonna lose. Cause I already see the picture. Like I'm still at my post as a coach, and I'm gonna go win another championship with a little recreation and put the youngest on the platform of greatness and winning. Like that's what it is. It's gonna continue to happen over and over. I don't care how many times you replay the negativity in your mind. This is what it is. So we're gonna continue. That's enough about me. It's my birthday, but I could do a little bit of bragging. You know what I'm saying? Like the winning circle is the winning circle. Um, Now let's continue. We're gonna go right into. I don't think I mentioned. Did I miss anything? I ain't missed nothing. All right, we talked about, did a little review. It ain't that much that I'm talking about in the community. I was just mentioning what I'm doing in the community. Everybody know if you want to replay more information about what I'm doing, you'll know what's going on. I'm going in the school boards. I'm going to the council meetings. I got trivia night here at the library today. Whatever you want to say. I might check the older kids out on the basketball practice court. I don't know. It's how I'm feeling today. I'm chilling, and I got to handle personal issues with people who want to harbor my child like they doing something great, but they need to make sure they check in properly as well. We got to put it out in public. People want to get famous for I don't know what, or sell people out because I'm not in that. I don't have time to deal with those type of people. Those people are nobodies to me. My child is the greatest. That's what it is. She's part of the greatness. Her lineage is great. I don't got time to deal with people who don't know to understand that their comprehension not that big. They pito small. They're not big at all. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at them. So we don't continue to be great. We're not indulging in the negativity. Anybody who's negative and lame, they got to stay over there in that lane line. That's what it is. They never been lame over here. So when they come to their senses of not losing the whole battle and competing of success, and like I said, it's my birthday week. I do not care. I'm bragging and boasting. I never lost. I won so many times my whole life, and it is what it is. I'm part of winning. It's gonna continue to win, and there ain't nothing stopping it. You could try, you put over 100 roadblocks. Because when she turned 17, 18, she graduated the highest. You know who did it. You know who it is. Your tactics didn't work. You signed with the wrong side. It is what it is. You went to the I ain't gonna put people out like that. Shout out to my child. Your father loves you. Hopefully you get to watch this. People do they want to be famous, but it's still love out here. My child get the most love. I got people over there who definitely not playing, who definitely know what it is. If anything happened to her, it's gonna be worse than whatever it's gonna be worse. They worse than what they thinking is not even close to what my worst gonna be. Just put it like that. And we're gonna keep it like that. I don't do your little spiritual warfare, you do your little voodoo tribe or whatever y'all got going over there, that junk weak. So at the end of the day, we're gonna win, we're gonna keep winning. Now let's continue with the education. The Secretary of Education get her testimony, and we're gonna break it down. And we're gonna continue right at the Arizona. We're gonna start where we was yesterday. Miss Asiri, I think that's how you name. She's going talking right now. She's doing a lot of high level speaking and breaking down the stuff that's going on in Arizona. Let's continue with that. Now, this is great. Look. This lady is not. This lady is Caucasian. I don't know if she. This lady is on. I ain't. I told you. I don't even. I just be knowing. I just be knowing because I did not. It took too long for me to dissect and then play it back. I didn't want to hear it over and over, so I'm just going through it with y'all like anybody else would go through it. So, when I hear it speak, I just get my right off the top, done, you know, top information. Like it's not scripted. So now they speaking on the stuff that I have an issue with, the stuff that is like trying to mentally manipulate kids to be gay, mentally trying to teach them that it's okay. No, you have to lay with a woman if you're a man, and if you're a woman, you gotta lay with a man to create a new life, which is the only gift that's free. That's the greatest thing you can do. It's make another um high spirit, like whatever, a child, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? Like what is greater than that? Like that's the only thing. We're not selling out for Barbie dolls and playhouses anymore. We learned that that's not the way. They'll keep you small. They'll keep you, you're mentally low. So you got to make sure you train your body when you hear. You stay strong. You eat the proper things. You know what I'm saying? This is the basic things that we learn instead of spending. It's okay to spend if you have. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. We had so much fun when we were young. You don't know. We didn't have not one toy I did not have when I was little available to me. I had every game system, every soldier, every Power Ranger toy, the whole set. My grandma did not play at all. So, you know what I'm saying? But on the other side, on my father's side, it was a little bit different. It was one gift, but it was what you asked for. You know what I'm saying? It's I never was, I was taught both. I was taught I was not a child that didn't get what they want. You know what I'm saying? But I actually know that I did not do bad in school. And I told y'all the only people that got challenged the most was the people who tried me, not even the teachers. It was like whoever tried me at that day. You get checked. You know what I'm saying? It was never, not a year, not in pre-K, not in elementary. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind them being mad about these things. This is stuff that I talk about all the time. I'm not bragging about it, but because I understand. And I tell my children, y'all do what the rules say, but don't let them teachers try you. Don't let nobody around you try you. Don't let them trick you out who you is. Because that's what you learn. You learn how to maneuver in the real society in the world. So when you go to these tests, this is a test every day. Being in these classes, some of these kids don't get taught what you get taught. So be mindful of that. Make sure you don't speak as much when they try your intelligence, because you let them speak they you let them talk their way out of greatness. You know what I'm saying? You let them talk their way right on down. Find a little ratchet ignorant group down the street somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You over here trying to procreate and go gain knowledge and gain high level information. You trying to talk to the teachers and talk to the people who trying to be successful. You ain't. This is the stuff that I preach to my children, my group, my section, my family. So if you watching, you paying attention, hopefully you relay that message to your child so they can be able to talk to my child. You know what I'm saying? Now let's continue, because I like how this lady. We not going that level. We not going down that route of trying to make people be gay or LGBTQ. Sorry if y'all already have a community. If you born that way, you feel that way, you feel strongly about supporting it, you want to chop your thing off if you're a man, or you want to grow something that ain't there. I don't know what y'all got going on, but that stuff is very unnecessary. That's all I can say. All you gotta do is be yourself and be, you know, let the world let you be who you is. If whatever you calling that. Now let's continue. before she go on her spew, now you see how they invest. What is their investigate? She clearly said they're letting the girls and boys change in the locker room, which also y'all know in high school that's what caused there's a lot of you're maturing at that time, especially in high school and in your middle school when you learn about sexual education and you want to explore. And the first incident was the kid was dressed in. They say he dressed like this. This happens on prep. If you ever been at school and when there is we have pep rallies in middle school and some middle schools and definitely high school. So they have the week where you dress up like a grandma and grandpa, or you being funny, you coming in character when it's Halloween. So I'm pretty sure that probably happened, and I don't even know the gist of that story, but that's how you get that day of goofy and gay of people not paying attention closely enough. And that type of incident happened. Unfortunately, it sounded like she got, I don't want to be funny. It sounded like there was a situation she either got caught and she said he got raped and not and all that. Then, but the bigger, not the bigger issue, but an issue is that girls and boys shouldn't be changing in the same locker room. Not in high school. That's not the job. That's not what's supposed to be going on in the school. So that should just because you want to, as you a man, you want to be a girl, you can't go in there and say you're changing with a female because that doesn't make sense. You're not even fully developed mentally to even know if what you going off what somebody else. You literally probably are one of these people that are mentally weak and you want to go copycat what you see, what because I feel you could be going right through a maturity being around. I'm just giving you an example. A young man could be going through maturity and him being around a whole bunch of men, he think it's okay that energy is going because his friend, at the time he probably not even gay or nothing. I'm just giving because talking from a man's perspective, and I promise you, I'm old enough and matured enough to know what it really is. These people are brainwashing to think it's okay and it's not. It's just not. So that's the biggest thing for me. Like you can't. These people are mentally not stable or are not developed. So you can't. That's not cool to say it's okay to because if I catch somebody trying to be as a man, if somebody try to go and change in the bathroom with my child in middle school, high school, you gonna see and then I find out about it. I'm gonna be there the next day, and then they gonna have to go find their dad, and they gonna have to sit down and they're gonna have to handle it properly. And the school gonna have to expel you, or whatever it's gonna be in Florida, or whatever is gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. So we're gonna continue to let these people. Mm. Okay, let's break down what he just said. Now, his concern is about the same as everybody else. Now, they claim that they're giving it back to the states. They claim this, but this is the way that they're going to steal because they put it in a whole big old. The money probably still there, mind you. It's probably still there, probably a little bit off, a little bit up. It depends on what it really is. Close it, put it in a whole box of this is what it is, education. Now, like I was saying earlier, now everybody race to get the money. And we're gonna take a little bit off. So what did I leave? A whole bunch of people without, whole bunch of people who need, and then that's like y'all ain't doing nothing but causing chaos, causing disruption. For what? Y'all closing all these programs, firing all these teachers. You know, everybody wasn't doing the thing properly what they do, but the people who are standing up saying, "Hey, it's a proportion that you just should have just fired," like I was saying before in part one and part two, whichever one I was talking about, just firing the people that was messing up and putting them, replacing them. And if you can't replace them, train the people to replace them. That's what the whole problem is. They ain't training people properly. They got a bunch of stupid people who they want in position, and it ain't working out. And it's just like it's like a snowball of dummies keep doing dumb stuff. Like, you know, remember like in math when you first learned a negative and a negative equals a positive. Now they on the odd negative. These people because they keep doing it over and over and they keep going odd ways. And that's just how I feel. That's how I look. That's how they looking at it as well as I'm looking at it. So they could be doing some positive, but they do six different negatives, and then you know what that means. A positive plus six negative is still a negative. So you call it how you want it. Let's see what she got to say though. Well, you can agree to disagree, whatever you say. Like a lot of her answers are roundabout, not straightforward. It's no yes or no's. It's no direct answers and solutions to what they're asking. So they're still probably lost. She has so many things piled up. You know what I'm saying? When you got so much like, oh, you got this person with this issue, this state with this estate. That's what come with the job. But all you have to do is start off with the most important thing that you see fit. And then after you knock that down, you come here the next day, do this one. It ain't no days off when you got a job like this. This is a real high level job. You are dealing with billions of students from K through 12, community college mostly. And you know, if you make it to a university, you have your financial aid in point. You know what you want to be successful at. You picked in directly what school you want to go to. And if you go straight from high school to there, that means you tested out already and you have the grades. So if you flunk out, it's not on them. You still have opportunity to stay in. It's just like they gonna treat you like a community college student, but you still are at a university. They have their own way of handling those things that people who don't pass. And then when you get your degree, you know what I'm saying, you pass. You can move on. You're a higher learner. You can go to your masters. And some people graduate with their AA when they graduate high school. That's how it's set up and designed now. So these people making it seem like there's not programs already designed and cutting so many things without properly checking on what they're cutting. And these people like, why you did that? Why you just all of a sudden hauled it all off? But you didn't. They didn't want to do the hard work, which is going state by state, figure out who's stealing, who's doing what. They wanted to just everybody fired, everybody get out. That caused even more chaos. That caused you didn't make no solution. You just ended everything. So it was a state that I think whatever I reported on, it was a state that challenged this whole dismantling and this whole signing of the thing. So I'm pretty sure this has not went into legislation, like went into law, whatever. You know, this dismantling of education executive order is not a law yet. So they cutting stuff before everything is law because they got an executive order by the president. So they just cutting. They still got the funds for it. They just got to get okayed by this lady who don't want to do the job properly and check everything properly and tell them that they're gonna get back to them. But this could take 3 or 4 years before they even get a real answer from this person because they have that much work to do, and they don't have enough people in office to do that around her that know what's going on. They don't have secret agendas or hidden agendas for their personal gain. And it's a whole bunch of chaos and corruption going on. That's what it looked like. It sounded like on that end in the administration. So we need to figure out what's going on. We're gonna continue. Okay, I heard terrorist several times. Let's look up the word terrorist. Now, mind you, this is my issue too, so I ain't even finna play with it. And they think it's all fun and games that they calling people terrorists. That's at these fun functions. Terrorists, and I ain't tripping. They can say what they want about me. I was born in America, and I'm not claiming nothing because I understand they have not gave me anything. I had to earn everything. So y'all can say what you want. A person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Let's read that again. The definition of terrorist: a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, or they said and, so it's both. So if you only intimidate, that ain't a terrorist, which is what they doing. We're just showing up. Now if they use violence, unlawful violence, which I don't understand. They actually amend to there's such thing as lawful violence, unlawful violence. So what's the difference between so lawful violence and intimidation is not terrorists? That's basically police officers. And then sometimes police do unlawful things and they do intimidations. So we got a whole bunch of police officers that are terrorists. So all the police officers in the world in the 50 states, y'all terrorists to me. That's all I can say. Like I don't see tape after tape after tape after tape of police officers shooting people, beating people. There's multiple cases on police officers. These people are terrorists. There's no such thing as police force at all. All y'all are terrorists to me. I don't have no say. There's nothing. Concerned parents should not be labeled a terrorist for being like not agreeing with what the policy is in the education system. That's what the problem is. Y'all want to bully people into believing what y'all believe. But like I said, let's go to the bigger group of people. The police officers are terrorists. There's no such thing as police. They're terrorists. When I see a police officer riding down the street, that's a terrorist vehicle. That I'm afraid. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why they're allowed to do that. I don't know why they're allowed to drive around and bully me and bully people that look like me and make borders up and not do their job properly, which is patrol, make sure everybody's safe, not bullying, not shooting and trying to kill people who just because their color. There's so many cases on these people. What is really why are they saying this in talking about education, telling these people terrorists, trying to make it sound like attacking these people for real. Like that don't make no sense. They in there for education. Now go find your buddy that got something to do with the world that's going on outside with all the police officers that were corrupt. You remember that New York case in the 90s and early 80s, all these people getting roped up as very what do you call it? Crooked police officer. It's every state, every city, like it's happening. So what's going on? They're terrorists to me. I'm gonna call every police officer terrorist. If you want me, just start calling the police officer a terrorist, and talk about it. Make sure you write it down. Don't even call them police. The police officers, aka terrorists of the American United States government in this city and state. That's how you state it. That's how you start talking just like they talk. That's dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? They already done picked the side, the wrong side, the evil side, the side that they ain't doing their job properly. So yeah, let's continue. He said it's better than they said it's the worst thing that's ever been. That's the most contradicting statement ever. And then you're the problem because you need to get fired. I don't even know they hit his name tags. I don't even know who this is. But let's continue. It is very corrupt in California. Clearly. Wow. All right. This is one of those straw man story guys that just popped up. He went in, did his little 1-2, and he's literally leaving. So he didn't want to hear what other people have to say. He don't care about what they're saying. He didn't have time to hear what everybody had to say. This is one of the people that don't pay attention to nothing but his little bubble world and the like the treasonous stuff that go on probably in his section. I don't even know him personally, and it's my first time hearing him speak. But all I heard was blah 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 blah. That's all I heard. He didn't say anything, and then the lady didn't even rebuttal him, so they already in cahoots. I don't need no more cheerleaders. I don't need no more strawmans. Find something to do. Get him out of the way. Don't put him back up here no more in front of me. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because if I was up there, like I'm not even trying to like. I don't know how they get these positions. Like I never did. I was studying this in high school, so I'm confused about how these people get past the cracks of even getting into these positions. Like who put these people in office? You know what I'm saying? This somebody's son. Like get him out the way. Like he ain't part of the winning side. Like he just stole something and probably got a little artificial intelligence in his brain. You know how they pay for that. So he ain't got it. He ain't got it. He just blah, 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 blah. That's all I heard. And he's speaking English. So you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, let's continue. Okay, I'm gonna go back to when she started because this person contradicts herself. Our Secretary of Education has contradicted herself more than 10 times in this 2 hour segment, and it's a whole hour and 10 minutes left. So we're gonna replay what she said because what she said is very intelligent, and she had stat after stat after stat after stat after stat. And they brought up that lady Ruby. I don't want to say her name wrong because that's why I want to replay it. When the lady got up there and spoke on the last, if you catch my last show when we were breaking it down, she was talking so fast because she had to get everything off. And this lady had the stacks for that what she was talking about. So I'm glad they played off on each other, which is very intelligent because she really broke it down to this lady because this lady say anything out her mouth. And she did come very unprepared. So we're gonna go back what she started and then let y'all listen to it because this is very important. We go rewind. Let's rewind it. Well, that's how we're going to end it today. Let's get through this sports real quick. Yesterday was the NBA final. Man, matter of fact, let me break that down. She didn't have nothing to say. She said it was very informative. I'm glad she got some stats and information because whoever she got sitting next to her who get paid way more than that lady who educate all them students, and I'm gonna look her up because she need to be followed. I need to follow her. I need to make sure I'm building me a nice educational team for my child to be informed and my nieces and nephews to know who to follow in the future. I don't have time to be over here playing stupid people. Need to be we got more money. I don't want to be around y'all. That's what's going on. We want these people in your chair. Move. Get out. Find another way. Get around. Go be rich somewhere else. Get out the way. That's what we trying to tell you. Get out the way. We don't need y'all in these seats. Get out the way. Period. That's it. That's all. You can't say it's informative and you ain't did no work. That's what's going on. Y'all ain't did the work. Y'all ain't studied for this. Hey, that's all I feel. Now she got me hyped. Tell me to go do something. Nah, but for real, man, we go. That was the perfect way to end the day. It was that lady was speaking with power. That lady was speaking with authority. I'm gonna make sure I follow her. I'm gonna write her a message to tell her I appreciate what she said. And that's real life. Like that's real talk. Now I might need to move to Connecticut. I need to find this lady. I'm not even playing. I like when people are very, I used to love. I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoyed K through 12 a lot. Like I learned a lot. So I learned a lot how to just pay attention, how to move in society, and just like especially K through 5, just educationally wise, I learned a lot. So I appreciate education. So mind you, I didn't know how they manipulate with the shots and manipulate with your paperwork and your social and all that stuff that I learned later on that I'm learning still now. It's not fully, even knowing about, but they have these systems to check and balance us as people. So I have to make sure they changing it properly because they still look at black people as 1/3 of a people, and I'm not going for that because I'm not really black. I'm African descent. I'm the strongest. I'm the most powerful man, human being walking this planet. I don't care how the other race feel. It is what it is. That's what my DNA says. So, and I remind y'all that. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about people that like me as well. Now, yesterday, the NBA Finals game, the Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma Thunder. The game was a great game. It was back and forth the whole time. Indiana Pacers were at home, so they did win the game. They're up 2-1. And basically what I seen was SGA didn't have his greatest game, but he had a pretty good game. The bench didn't out. The bench was what was the determining factor of them winning by 9 points. They ended up having a strong bench performance by the Indiana Pacers, which was the opposite of what happened in game 2. And it's 9 times out of 10, the home team has an advantage because of the crowd, that's what it looked like. Everybody came out to support them. There were legends on the sideline. That was Indiana legends, not just athletes, but everybody came to support that home team. They had the girls, the superstar girls sitting in the court side. It was a fun atmosphere. I love what I saw. I love that team and that home vibe. I like to see Indiana if they win this championship. I know, like y'all seen Reggie Miller look like he was trying to suit up yesterday. So I like seeing that he had his 13 on. He was out there like ready. So I like seeing that. It was dope. I ain't the biggest Reggie Miller fan. I'm a big Kobe fan, but I respect what he did in the game. I respect what his sister did to the game and what they did in broadcasting. Still, so I respect them completely because I'm still out here. I'm still coaching. I'm still talking in the media. I'm still, I'm inspired by those type of people. So shout out to them, Indiana. I have no ill will. Like it's not that's not my favorite team, but I respect that whole franchise. So and what he brought and what they how it's formulating for them. How they got their superstar is still funny to me. Pascal Siakam went in Toronto being the wing. The 2-man or 3-man, whatever you want to call them in Toronto with Kawhi. So it's still a lot of winning over there, a lot of tradition, and like I said, I still give the advantage to Indiana coaching staff over OKC coaching staff. So it's always going to be X and O's. I was teaching my players double pick and roll action, And I was like, it looked like the play I drew. I was like, my kids probably watching the game. Like, we just ran that play. We was going over there all practice. I was laughing. I was like, that is literally a play we was talking about. Literally, like they went to the three, he was wide open, and the other guy was dove. And there was a wide open tray. I was like, man, that's what I be trying to say. Like, it's basic basketball, and I'm excited to be coaching, and just like more than me talking about politics, which I enjoy. I don't have I'm not married, so unfortunately, I'm in my 30s. I ain't waiting for nobody to get with the program. I'm gonna be with the program, and I'm gonna be with I'm on track to be who I'm supposed to be in life. I ain't got time to be arguing with no petty minded peanut brain females. You know what I'm saying? Same with the fellas who don't think I'm doing the proper thing by talking about politics. It is what it is. You're not as educated and smart as me, and I'm not dissing you. We just need to get on a path where we are educated about how we're going to raise our children to be young men, not even just at the age they at, the next level, prepare for the next level, and laying the path for the next level. So that's all it is. We talked about quick sports. I didn't watch any WM games. I was able to watch the Rays game, the end of the Rays game. They lost by 1 point to the Red Sox, but I'm okay with that. We had good pitching showing. I might catch. I don't know if I'm catch the game or not. I might do. I'm going to probably into other entertainment. I'm going to watch The Godfather. They got it on YouTube, so it's for free. I'm gonna chill, watch that tonight. I tried to watch it, but I just went to sleep. The other night I watched like 20 minutes. I went to sleep, but I'm gonna watch it when I get home. My favorite one is Godfather 2, but Godfather 1 is very educational, very like fun to watch and chill. So I'm gonna get something to eat, watch that. I like to watch number 2 though the most. Number 2 is lit. Godfather 2 is one of the littest movies. And number 1 is just like some old Italian like throwback stuff. So it is, it's some chill stuff that I'm from watching, just entertainment. I already know where I'm at with education. Tomorrow we're gonna finish this. Even if we don't go to the last minute of it, we're gonna do the last part of it. Tomorrow is Friday. And, Saturday is gonna be gearing up for the. Actually, tomorrow is the basketball game, game 4. So that's pretty dope. We're gonna watch. We're gonna finish that up. Talk about the game beforehand, what the predictions and all that. So and then this is way more important than what's going on. I promise you that. And I'm sorry about California people. You see what kind of ducks y'all got coming up here talking about education. Y'all ain't worried about the children enough to be out here talking about trying to, I ain't even checked in properly. They got this ending, and I gotta definitely dissect that agreement they made with China. That's not going over my head at all. So I'm gonna let it marinate. They can't rush anything. They can't make everything happen overnight. I'm not tripping about it. I just gotta make sure y'all that have time. I'm not putting my energy in it because I'm not. The resources is not in my corner yet. When I get the resources in my corner, you're gonna see real things moving. But I can't speak on it. I can't dissect what they put out there. I can't ask for help publicly. So shout out to everything, man. I'm for the end of the day. I try to keep it like as on a do kind of schedule. So hopefully you guys get informed. Now this is Dynasty the podcast shows. I'm your host, Ira Bush. I appreciate all y'all listening and tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all catch the show tomorrow. It's Friday. It's my birthday. My birthday in the middle of the week. So my birthday week is Father's Day. I'm coming to trivia night. I'm doing something just to do it. Like it's my birthday. I ain't spending no money. It's free here. I'm gonna catch the trivia night, the adult trivia night at the library or something. I'm an adult now. I ain't even. I had stepped out last night too. So that was cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all shout out to y'all. Y'all have a good one, and that's gonna be it for today. See y'all tomorrow.